Welcome back to the channel, my friends. Warhammer Man Studios. I'm Warhammer Man, and today we're taking a look at some advanced terrain tips. This video is sponsored by CMO Games. More on that later. The secrets of the Ash Wastes advanced terrain tips from the designer. The Ash Wastes Thatos pattern terrain set can build an exciting and visually spectacular Outlands battlefield. These kits add to the already diverse range of terrain available for Necromunda, such as the Sector Mechanicus and Zone Mortalis terrain ranges. But did you know how compatible these kits are? And I'm guessing for most people that they don't realize just how compatible these terrain sets are. And it's actually pretty cool. So unfortunately, a lot of the reason that people don't actually have any experience or like hands-on with this terrain is because Games Workshop essentially doomed Necromunda Ash Wastes and then also just the terrain in general right from the start. And there's very clearly one reason that this set failed. There was a ton of hype behind the Necromunda Ash Wastes box set and the new like vehicle setting of the Ash Wastes in Necromunda. And it was really starting to pick up some steam. And then when Games Workshop launched the box set, they launched it at that $300 price point, which was a couple years ago before a lot of the price creep had hit and was just way out of the acceptable price range for most people. So there was a ton of momentum, a ton of hype, a ton of excitement behind the new Necromunda, and it all kind of fell on its face with that $300 price tag. Now, since then, it's actually gone up even more. I believe it launched initially at $295, so it's up to like $310 since then. But that essentially resulted in like the failed launch of Necromunda. And now here you can pick up this set online at tons of different places for about half price. I've currently seen them selling for about $160, including shipping, which is literally like 50% off this set. And at that price, it's a really nice box, and I would definitely recommend it to people. Now, obviously, $300 price tag is just ridiculous. You do get a ton of stuff in the box set, but most people just aren't looking to drop $300 on a new game that they're not even sure they're going to enjoy. And as if the box set being overpriced wasn't enough to completely ruin the excitement behind Necromunda, when the actual terrain kits came out, they were ridiculously overpriced as well, and it was definitely the final nail in the coffin. So here we see the Thatos pattern Hab module, single module, $80, or the platforms and walkways for another $80, and then later we saw the extended Hab module for $110. And while this stuff is cool and the compatibility and modularity of it is awesome, right in line with like the Sector Mechanicus stuff, which you guys know I love, most people don't get nearly as excited for terrain as I do. And this was one of the worst selling products that Games Workshop has ever made. So now that we've explored a little bit of the history of the Thatos pattern Hab modules and Necromunda Ash Wastes, and we know why they had to put out this article to try to entice people to pick some up, let's take a look at how cool it actually is. We've gathered a host of tips and tricks by design studio Terrain Master Owen to help you get the most out of your terrain building and explore the amazing level of detail that went into their creation. So while I do think this is a cool article, this definitely feels like it should have been put out around the time of launch, either before to get people excited for it or after to get people to actually buy it. But putting out this article like over a year after the set came out and it's already completely bombed and people have lost interest in it doesn't make a whole lot of sense to me. But I'm still glad that they did because I think this is super cool. So standard template constructions. As part of the Imperium of Man, the world of Necromunda makes extensive use of standard template constructions, or STCs for short. Everything from lasguns to combat sponsons are made to the same specifications, including the very homes, factories, and tunnels everyone lives in. The Ash Wastes terrain set have been created with this standardization in mind. So a tall platform or hab is the same height as the Sector Mechanicus strut or two Zone Mortalis columns. So they say a little bit complicated right there, but basically what it comes down to is, at least the way I classify this stuff is, there's essentially like a half, there's a single, and then there's a double. So we don't actually see like the half right here, but obviously this would be a single, and then this would be a double. So anything compatible with like the single height or compatible with the double height is going to be the same, at least once you put like the floor piece on top of here. And then same thing for the half piece as well. So a half, a single, and a double is what I call it, but they have their own little name for it. This also means a platform can also be built at the same height as a single Zone Mortalis column, which is also conveniently the same height as a set of Zone Mortalis stairs, which is also an also of the alsos. All right, so here we see this is a single, this is a single, and then the stairs are actually a half. So when you put two of the halves together, again, they match up with the single. So that's why I use the half, the single, and the double. This means it's very easy to link up terrain pieces built using 3 different ranges at different levels will always match up. In addition, as the height compatibility, various platforms and gantries from the Sector Mechanicus range can be easily attached to the Ash Wastes Hab or Hab platform element. The two Ash Wastes platforms also share the fittings of the Sector Mechanicus floors, which allow them to sit atop of the rail and clip into place. So here we see the Sector Mechanicus clips right here, And once again, we'll see that the Hab module here has that clip built into it, or like the female portion of it. And then here we see the Sector Mechanicus floors, which of course have them as well. So you pop the little clip in and you end up with this setup right here. And then again, we see the height compatibility between the double and of course like the platform here as well. And that's it all secured into place. And then there's with another platform on the end. So super cool. And you can literally build like unlimited modular terrain setups by combining a bunch of this stuff together. It's very, very cool. The large corner sections of the Sector Mechanicus floors will fit around the large Hab platform and can be attached with clips provided. This allows huge range of construction between the two ranges, making it easy to blend the factory elements of the Sector Mechanicus set with the outland Habs of the Ash Wastes terrain. And I do agree, this is super cool how like modular everything is. And while I've been playing around with this stuff for years, I can understand how most people have probably never even seen a lot of this in person, let alone picked it up and played with it. And it really is like Connects or Legos or something like that with just the awesome modularity. So here we can see demonstrated that using the floor of the Hab module that you can actually build onto it to create like this large double-sized platform. And that this octagon piece inside here, which is actually the floor of the Hab module, is the same dimensions and everything as the Sector Mechanicus sets. So you're able to do some pretty freaking cool stuff with them. Much of the Thatos pattern compatibility comes into its own when you experiment with the many different ways of building the Hab modules. These deceptively simple constructions come with a truly impressive modularity. For instance, if you don't want to have your models held aloft, leave off the pin A5 and A6 and put the floor directly on the base, which happens to be the same height as one Zone Mortalis stairs. AKA, so here we have a half setup right here with a single stairway. And you can see that it just clips on using the different piece. And there's a bunch of different heights that you can make. And you can create essentially like the half setup like we see here, the single setup like we saw previously, and then also like your standard double. Want more variety in your struts? They can be stacked using the spaces, using unique fittings so you can't go wrong. Two short struts are also the same height as a long strut. So here we can see here, this is a double, and you could alternatively create the single or the half. And there's tons of different ways to build it, and it's pretty well laid out in the instructions. But obviously, once you have your hands on this stuff, it's much clearer. Want another way to connect the Hab platform to other terrain pieces? The balcony will hang off the platform rail without the need of glue. It also hangs the same distance as a small strut, making it great for modular gaming. And it does have like the cool little clip-on like setup right here, where it fits onto the round bar perfectly, and then creates this little step right there without any glue or anything. Now a quick message from today's sponsor. CMO Games has been selling Games Workshop products online for over 20 years. They carry the full line of Games Workshop products, including Warhammer 40,000, Age of Sigmar, Necromunda, Blood Bowl, paint tools, and more. Almost all Games Workshop products are priced at 15% off MSRP. CMO Games takes pre-orders for most Games Workshop products released at their earliest date possible. 12:01 a.m. on Saturday, they go live. Most of these pre-order products are also priced at 15% off MSRP. CMO Games offer free shipping in the US 48 with an order of $50 or more. Their customer service is top-notch and they ship most orders within 24 hours. Visit CMOGames.com using the affiliate link in the description and let them know that you heard about CMO Games from Warhammer Man. Now back to the video. To keep stacking up Hab platforms, you have the option not to put a cap A17 on the platform. Instead, attach another strut into the fitting, allowing you to stack multiple platforms to the top of one another. So here we see the platform, put that piece on there, and then we can put the second platform on top. Even the Habs themselves can be stacked. Each roof has a hidden fitting which allows you to slot in any strut. It will sit at the correct height, adding platforms to the roof for allowing you to double stack Hab. So here is a regular double stacked Hab. Here is an extended double stacked Hab. Here's how it goes in, and then here's a little platform on top. If you do want to cap off your platforms and Hab roofs, then there are 3 different cap designs which can be used on platforms big and small, and also the Hab roofs. So here we see like the fan, the regular cap, and then this one's the extension cap. Need to get to your fighters? You can also leave the roof unattached so it can easily be removed during gameplay if required, and also allow you to show off your fully detailed interior. So I would definitely recommend leaving the set as modular as possible. There's no reason you shouldn't be able to take off your roof and mess around inside while you're playing. If you remove a Hab roof, you can replace it with a large platform, or you can put 2 Habs directly onto one another, giving it even more space for fighters to stand or hurl each other to their doom. So here we can see that a floor for another Hab module is being used as the roof for this one. So here is a regular Hab module, no roof with the floor on top. And then here we see once you do that setup, you just put another Hab on top of that. And then you could either put another floor and keep stacking them, or here we see the roof in place. To add more variety to your small platforms or sniper's nests to the top of a Hab, the small platform has fittings that allow you to attach a large platform strut to the underside, adding some variety to your small platforms. So here we can see that setup right there, and then actually that is on top of the Hab. So we have like a little crow's nest or sniper platform. That's it for now. Next time we'll take a look at the extra features you can add to your habs to link them together or blend them into other terrain features. So a pretty cool setup right here. Definitely something that I am very well aware of, but I love terrain and I have all of this stuff and have experimented extensively with it. There's a lot of other cool setups and stuff you can do. If you guys are interested in more videos like this, or maybe me demoing some like actual full setups or something like that, let me know. I'd be glad to do something like that. I really love the terrain from Games Workshop and the modularity of it. And the fact that they continue to incorporate the Sector Mechanicus kind of like clipping system and compatibility between all their sets is great. And let me know your opinion down below. Have you been experimenting with this stuff previously? Is a lot of this stuff you're discovering for the first time and now you want to play around with it? Always like to hear back from you guys in the comments. And special thanks to CMO Games for sponsoring the video. Check them out, link in the description to save 15% on Games Workshop products. That's it for today. Warhammer Man Studios, I'm Warhammer Man, and I do love me some terrain. And I'm out of here.